Andy Roman and Robert Steele are Elm Treason, and I'm here with Andy right now. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. No snow.
Well, that's always good. And no salt to worry about either.
No, nothing. Just, pollen.
Pollen,
Pollen
right. But
sucks.
we don't need network team coverage, though, for the pollen, I don't think.
Maybe, because this is
Maybe.
Atlanta, and we're the only place that gets pollen or snow or any other, kind of stuff.
The question is, will the pollen shut down the highways for hours, though? That's the question.
Not hours, days. People were stuck on the
Days.
highway in Snowmageddon, the 1 inch of horrible frozen precipitation that we received. They were there for some of them 10 or 12 hours. People did not know where to pee. It was really, really, really a tragedy.
Yeah. Well, I remember the news reports, man, and I was thinking when these reports are on the air is that the people who live like in Buffalo and Ontario and way up there, they must be laughing because they laugh at us here in New York City because we don't know what we're doing. And are you kidding, people? Come on,
We're a joke. We admit it.
Well,
Well,
it's good
I
to
do
laugh.
on behalf of all Atlanteans. I admit it.
Excellent.
Because I'm really from Connecticut, so I make fun of them too.
Oh, that's right. A nutmegger down there. That's right.
Yep, yep. They put up with me.
Well, you're easy to put up with.
Thank you. So, Elm Treason, how long have you guys been around?
Well, Bobby Steele is is the other half of Elm Treason. I'm Andy Roman, and we've been together making music probably 3 years, 3.5 years, and Elm Treason as the group probably a little under 3 years. So in that time frame.
All right. Where does the name come from?
Well, originally when we had gotten together, we had kind of different working names, and we didn't know exactly, what we were going to call ourselves once we decided that we were going to become a musical entity. So we had thought of different things. Hey, let's use the street name we were on. Hey, let's use the county we're in. Hey, let's use our favorite food, our blood types. We're trying to come up with something. I think we even opened the dictionary once and tried that game. But we landed on some ridiculous words. So that preposition isn't going to work. So what happened is, I think Bobby, the great Bobby Steele, who wanted to be here, but literally at the last minute something came up. But he's here in spirit. And what he did was, he took our last names. Steele, Steel, and my last name, Roman, Roman, and he created a list of anagrams, literally 20 to 25 anagrams out of those letters, and the one that seemed to jump at us was Elm Treason, and that was how we came up with the name.
That is so cool.
Yeah,
What
it
a cool
wasn't
idea.
sedition or anything. I remember we were answering the question once, and oh, real? They were so disappointed. Like, it's not anarchy or sedition. I said, "Are you kidding? I got a heartburn. I'm not worried about anarchy right now. We just want a name, So that's how we came up with it.
It says here that you were a minor TV celebrity.
Ooh, yeah. Well, back years ago, I lived in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and I worked for the Fox station out there, and my first job there was as master control, which is just running the board and making sure the TV commercials and the programs get on the air as they should. And I was brought into the station to get that job by a friend of mine who was a production guy there, and he also did some on-air work. Now, in order for this to make sense, we had the 4 networks there, the 3 big ones and Fox, and the 3 regular networks in Fort Wayne had regular newsrooms. They had reporters, and they had cameras, and they had news trucks, and when something would happen in and around the area, they'd send out these crews, and they would report the story. And whenever there were events, and in the Midwest, events are big, like the Strawberry Festival, the Three Rivers Festival, the Apple Dumpling Festival. They happen in all of the towns. Well, my friend who brought me in, his name is Shane, brought me in, and he would go out and do all this reporting in and around at these festivals. But the funny thing was we were never able to broadcast live because we didn't have the equipment. So they would go out, record something, make it look like they were standing somewhere, interview a kid. Hey, what do you think of the festival? Blah, blah. They would rush back to the station, edit this thing, and put it on the air, to make it look like they were out there. And what happened is one of the reporters with Shane, she quit while they were on a shoot, and they needed, she just, the thing was she had a this is true, she needed cue cards or index cards to remember her name. And that's the truth. And we have the video of it where she says, I'm not going to say her name because she's known in that town, but I'm, let's say, Joan Smith, and she had to look at the card to get, no kidding. So, and the cameraman had ostracized her or something, whatever it was, and boom, she's gone. And next thing I know was that my good buddy asked me if I would want to go out and do stuff with him on air. And I'd never done that before, not in front of the camera. So we went out and we would start in Fort Wayne. They have the Three Rivers Festival. That's the big festival every year there. And we went out and we filmed these little vignettes, these 30-second and 60-second vignettes where we'd interview people and do stuff. And what happened is one of the bits that we filmed wound up being on Dick Clark's bloopers and practical jokes because something funny happened and we sent it in because it was very comedic. And people started responding, hey, these two guys are funny. So what happened is we decided to change the approach that we would go out and cover all these festivals and be, funny, be humorous, a little silly. We would still promote whatever event it was, but we would kind of do it that way. And we were given a little bit of liberty to kind of do it the way we wanted to, as long as we were true to the event and we weren't, particularly vulgar because it was regular air TV. And over the course of several months, they kept asking us to do more and more events. And before you know it, they came up with this thing called Shane and Andy. That's good. That's me, Andy Roman. That's Shane and Andy on the road. And we got to the point where we were starting to get people follow us and we were getting fans, and it was unexpected because we were just out there promoting an event, and really all came to fruition. We were covering the Mizpah Shrine Circus and they were having this big charity thing or whatever it was, and we walked into the arena and the whole of the arena recognized us and kind of gave us a big cheer. And for a couple of years there, until the whole thing went away, we were kind of mini celebrities there for a while, and it was both exhilarating and annoying at the same time, but that's kind of where that began, and that was in Fort Wayne.
That is so cool.